So, we've got a number 1 deluxe meal. Is there anything else I can get you?
Yeah, I'd also like a good night's sleep. Maybe something like the I didn't struggle all night with my uncomfortable CPAP mask.
Sir, I think what you're looking for is Inspire. It's an implant that works inside your body to treat sleep apnea without a CPAP.
Come on! He sounds hangry. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you. And review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Beauty Pop Podcast. I am Victoria.
And I'm Jen.
And we are back after a couple of weeks off because I was, as a friend of mine said, laying and slaying in bed. I was really sick with bronchitis.
We had to pull her back from the edge.
I did nothing but just binge watch TV and eat soup, and it was a rough couple weeks.
At least you got some rest, right? Your body probably needed it.
Urgent care 4 times in less than 2 weeks. I mean, it was a mess. Yeah, and I
You're like, hey Bob, hey Rhonda, what's going on?
Oh my God, that's so funny that you say that, because the 4th visit, it was the same receptionist who had seen me like 3 of the 4 times. Yeah. And so I went in and I handed her my insurance card and for my copay, and she goes, actually, you don't have a copay today. You actually have a credit. And I was like, oh, is this like frequent flyer miles now? Like, am I building miles?
Like in frozen yogurt.
Yeah. I'm like, because I have points because I'm here all the time. And she started laughing. She's like, yeah. She goes, I don't really see that happen often. I'm like, well, okay. So I'll take my refund.
So funny. You're like, I'll take your credit.
Yeah. So basically, happy to be alive again.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad you're feeling better.
And you had bronchitis. What was it? 2 months ago?
Yeah, remember we had to take
it bad too.
I know. There's something going around that like starts as whatever it is and then ends up in bronchitis or pneumonia. So I feel like we lucked out by getting the bronchitis instead of the pneumonia. Not that it's pleasant, but better than being in the hospital. Ugh.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So happy to be back. And today's a little bit of like a catch-up episode. So I had recommended a few products that you finally were able to try, and I
told you I kept putting them in my cart, and then I finally hit go. So it's exciting.
I'm so excited because these are 2 of my favorite products from this entire year, maybe even from last year too. So you finally were able to try the new Gwen Stefani, her Give Beauty line, her lip gloss, which I literally rated as the best lip gloss I've ever tried. So how does that rank for you?
Okay, so I actually I bought 2, and I feel like the formula on them is really different. You have the candy, right?
I have candy and I have dolled up. Okay. Dolled up is a very, very bubblegummy pink, and it doesn't really look that great on me. But candy is more of like a mauvey pink, and that's my go-to.
Yeah, and I really like it. Now, sometimes I feel like I really love the formula because it's glossy, it's nice, it lasts, it's not sticky. It's a really good formula. The only thing I noticed with that color is because I'm already so pale, I feel like I have to put on a few layers of it to make the color actually pop. Do you do that, or is it pretty good with just a swipe?
It's good with a swipe if I put it over a lipstick. So that's how I've been doing
Bingo.
it. Yeah.
Yep. So I actually started doing that too. And I have a really pretty neutral liner that really is actually neutral. And it really looks pretty. I think because the neutral that I have has a little bit of that mauve tint to it. So it looks really good over the lip liner.
Which lip. Oh, you know what I have? I use it's a Dior lipstick. And I forget the name of it, but we'll talk about, I'll mention it next time, because if you are fair skinned like you and I are, it is the perfect, it's the perfect shade of pink with a little bit of like, rosy mauve undertones.
Okay, good. Because I need that. Because I feel like I'm losing the pretty pinkness of it because it's a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous color.
So that lipstick with a little bit of, and then I can do like the one full swipe of candy.
Yep.
The candy gloss on top, and then it's really perfect. The one thing I do have to buy though, and then you talked about it a couple episodes ago, that new lip liner that you found that you really love.
That I'm wearing right now, Mario.
Yep. Mario. I have to buy that because I don't currently have a liner. So I feel like it needs, with the lipstick and the gloss, if I add a liner, it's going to be a lot better. But as of right now, the lipstick with the Give Beauty gloss is a great combo.
Okay, so you got to tell me the lipstick because I am interested in trying that. Yep. Yeah, but I love the gloss, the formula, the color is so really. I mean, it's really pretty.
Yeah,
and it actually lasts, I think, a little bit longer than a lot of glosses do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what? Actually, hang on. This is podcasting. We can do whatever we want. I'm going to go get the lip gloss. Or I'm going to go get the lipstick. Yeah. Be right back.
I'm going to wait right here.
We'll have a little music interlude. All right. I found it. Okay. It is... So the line of the lipstick is, they have like long wear. They have all it's not. I guess it could be considered long wear, but it is called Rouge Noir, and that is the color is called Beige Couture Velvet.
Ooh,
It's number 220.
220. Number.
I will text a picture to you so you can.
Please do because I'm going to need that. Awesome.
So it's a beautiful.
Oh yeah. See, now that would rock. Yep. It's like a beigey rose. Yep. Really pretty. I like it.
And so, and it even goes on even lighter than what this color looks like. And when you pop that gloss, the Gwen Stefani gloss over it, it's perfect.
All right. I can't wait.
Such a good combo. Yeah. So, that I'm so happy you like it.
But I also did something accidental. So I thought I was actually buying 2 of the Gwen Stefani glosses. And then I realized it was actually her I'm Still Here liquid lipstick. Have you tried that yet?
No. But I know I follow her on Instagram. She's always applying. Is it I think she has like a red liquid lipstick, right?
Yeah, there's red. Using. She's always got the red. The color that I did is Cowgirl, which is Cowgirl, Cowboy. It's Cowgirl. And it's a pink, but it's kind of like a mauve-y pink. And I was expecting gloss. So when I pulled this thing out of the tube and I put it on, I'm like, whoa, this is the best long-wearing lipstick I've ever used.
Wow.
I think hands down.
High praise.
Well, because most long-wearing lipsticks, I can't stand the formula. It feels sticky. It's too matte. Yep. It feels like your lips are going to crumble off.
Yep.
I avoid
that. I avoid that completely because of everything.
I do too.
Listed.
And I actually, honest to God, thought I was buying a lip gloss, but I was going quickly through Sephora, probably had a glass of wine. I was like, oh, that's a pretty color. And so I thought I'll get the light pink and I'll get this one. Well, it happened. It was the long wearing lipstick. And I was kind of bummed when I put it on. I was like, this doesn't feel like lip gloss, but it's thin. It's smooth. I want to say like, what's the word? Malleable. I mean, it doesn't like get crusty. It like actually moves with your lips. And I was wine tasting this past weekend and I wore it and it lasted. Now it changed. Like, it comes down a little bit. It's not as like full, but the color stayed for a really long time and it wasn't
That's impressive.
Gross. Yeah. So it was an accident. It was a happy mistake. The color is really pretty. I think I'd actually wish it was just a tinge lighter, but I really, really, really liked it. I even texted you and I was like, oh my God, I'm using my glosses. And I loved the gloss. I used them both over the weekend when I was wine tasting, but I do really like this long wearing lipstick. So if you do want to give the Gwen Stefani line a try and gloss isn't your thing, you like more color and pigment, try it out. I think the formula is really, really good.
I think that she is one of the things that I've always respected about Gwen. She had the lamb line forever. Like that was, and she always had really cool designs and everything and sunglasses, accessories. Then she designed multiple years. Maybe she still even does capsule collections for Burton snowboarding gear. And like all her stuff is super cool. My sister-in-law's a snowboarder and wears, has a ton of the lamb stuff. And Gwen never does anything in mass production. Right. Everything is always cheapy smaller stuff. And limited. And I think and good, good value, but really good quality. This, I think even when she launched Give Beauty, there were only a few products. I feel like,
it was a really small launch. She's been adding as she goes.
Yeah. And I think she's
actually
doing
bought
it really
one more
well.
thing. I do too. And I bought one more thing that I haven't tried yet, but I'll let you know how it is. She has liquid eyeshadow now, which is really pretty. And she has a bunch of different Gwen Stefani, like intense colors. I just bought the kind of like a really pretty shimmery goldish kind of bronze color. So I'm probably going to try that this weekend. I think I feel like that kind of liquid eyeshadow look, I've told you before, I really like it as weekend makeup because it's not super intense. And I can just kind of put it on and blend it in and put some mascara on, and I feel like it looks nice, like I've done something.
Yeah.
So I'll let you know how it is, but it looked so pretty, and I was so impressed with everything when I kind of did the deep dive into her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're right.
She's also known for the perfect liquid liner.
Her eyeliners are supposed to be really good.
That's going to be the next thing that I try, because when we talked about eyeliner a couple episodes back, maybe even 5 or 6 episodes, and we were talking about the Kat Von D. That's been my go-to. I have deviated from. I started with it years ago. The Kat Von D, the black liquid liner. It's fantastic. I switched over to Charlotte Tilbury's. Wasn't as good. Did MAC for a while, but I always come back to the Kat Von D. That liquid. I think it's called like Tattoo Ink or something like that. That's the best one. But if anyone can beat that, it's going to be Gwen Stefani.
I think so too, because I'm definitely known for that cat eye.
Yeah, so I'm definitely curious to see how that one goes. And she also has a mascara that she doesn't have a waterproof formula yet. And, I have to do the waterproof because my lashes just don't hold a curl. Right. But it does look like it's a big, voluminous kind of lash. And it's got a big, thick brush. So if you are a non-waterproof needing lady or person who wants to wear mascara, then, that mascara might also be a good pick. But one of the things that and I love the formula of Gwen's lip gloss. But one of the things that I remember thinking, and I think we talked about this too when I was giving it rave reviews, the applicator is fantastic.
I agree.
And applicators in lip glosses can make or break the lip gloss experience.
Well, because it's got like this pointy, it looks like a flame, kind of like the emoji flame almost, but just smooth. And that point, you can really get up into your Cupid's bow. You can actually really like get where you want to be, where a lot of lip glosses are just kind of like the cheapest applicator they can find, and it's just slop it on and you're done. And
the other thing that I don't like is when an applicator, and this is, and I love, Lisa Rinna, love her, entertaining, love her. But her lip gloss, the formula's fine, but her applicator is the worst, cheapest applicator I've ever used. To the point where the little, the little like spongy part, it started disintegrating. And there's like nothing left anymore, except like now I have to use a different applicator if I want it, and I have to stick it in the thing if I want to use that lip gloss. So obviously they went very cheap on their production, and it honestly, that was the last new gloss that I had tried. And then I went to the Gwen one, and I'm like, okay, they didn't skimp here. This is an applicator that it doesn't bend. Like solid. Some of them, like when they, like the Lisa Rinna one, like would bend when you're putting it on. Like it was a mess. So I was very impressed with that, and I actually told all my girlfriends from high school. We're on this like little text thread, and so I had said that the lip gloss from Gwen Stefani was like the best I've used. And my friend Allie texted back. She goes, "You're so right about the applicator. It's amazing, and that can just make a much better experience overall."
It makes it feel more high end. By the way, did you see Lisa Rinna at the Barbie premiere?
No. Oh my God. Are we in Barbie mania at this right now? I mean,
everything is, including my fingernails are pink and it's Barbie time and whatever. But Lisa Rinna, I don't know what she was wearing, but
I never know what Rinna's wearing.
She had her hair slicked back and, the big lips, but then it looked like her body had jumped into like, I don't know, somewhere between a wine gift bag with tissue coming out of it or a popcorn box. But her dress, you got to see it. It looks like her head is just floating above the dress. It is just so
I'm Googling this now.
Crazy wide and weird. I don't even know. I don't know what she was doing. It was like super duper black. And at the Barbie premiere, there were people, including Margot Robbie, who were wearing black, but it was like so bizarre. It's very, very costumey.
Is it that?
No, that's actually very pretty.
I was going to say, that looks really... Oh, that was 80 for Brady premiere. Let's see. Where is she? I don't see...
Maybe it was... You know what? Maybe she was in France. Let me see. I looked at some fashion this weekend. It might have all gone between... Let's see. I thought it was the Barbie premiere. But...
Yeah, Rinna she comes up with... She has been in Paris because her daughters have been walking the runway for different designers. Oh, so I know, I do follow her on Instagram, and she has been in Paris. And yeah, she can come up with some strange, costumey looking outfits.
Here we go. This is what I'm talking about.
Oh my God. The dress looks like it's eating her. Like,
I know. She's like, she's nothing. It's like there's like a black box and she's just a head sticking out of it. It's very, very bizarre. Even they say online at Jezebel that she looks unrecognizable. Oh, and it was Paris Fashion Week. It wasn't the Barbie premiere. I looked at both. So it was Paris Fashion Week. I guess that's why she was. But even in the car, she's posting.
Oh my God. Look at that eye makeup too. That's nuts.
Something else, man.
She is extra nutty.
Drama. Yes, she's extra nutty for sure.
So one of the other products that I also have called like the best addition to my makeup routine maybe ever, and I still stand by it. I swear it's the greatest thing. It's like walking around with an Instagram filter on your face. It's the Rose Inc Solar Power Serum. It's an SPF serum that you can just use right over moisturizer, or I mix it with my foundation, and it is the glow and the filter of like a 20-year-old. It's amazing. How do you like it?
I do really like it. I noticed the only little thing that I didn't like is I feel like it makes me look paler. But the finish, it hides your pores. It makes you look glowy. And so what I notice is I just throw on a little extra bronzer with it and it's golden. And it's a really, but the formula is great. And I wore it without any foundation, which was scary, but it even kind of reflects the light in a way that I think makes you look better and younger than you would without any makeup on. You know what I'm saying? Just barefaced. And I loved the way it mixed with my foundation. I used the NARS foundation and I recently tried their glowy version. Didn't like that. I love my NARS foundation with just a drop or two of the Rose Inc. It's a really, really good addition. Yeah. And I love that it's SPF 50, but I definitely like it.
I didn't even realize it was 50. Is it 50?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that. Okay.
Is it 50? I think so. I don't know. Maybe I'm
30 or 50. Yeah, one of the two.
But it's a pretty high SPF for facial stuff. And I really liked it a lot. I thought it was great. I've been using it as part of my whole repertoire. And I haven't had to use like my Charlotte Tilbury glow stuff. Like I can totally skip the step of the glow, the highlighter. You don't really need it. So it's really pretty.
And you're right. I haven't used, because I have the Charlotte Tilbury, that little powder duo of like the bronzer and the highlighter. I haven't used it because you don't have to. You don't need it. It's like,
and it kind of goes in the right places too. It's not even like you have to mess around trying to put it in the right spots. It naturally shows where the light's hitting you, which is nice.
And the thing, remember at the beginning of this year when we did what the big beauty trends for 2023 were projected to be, and one of the things that you had said on the list was, I think it was from Vogue or something, or I forget where we got the list from, but it was one of the beauty magazines. And the transition from the bronzer highlighter of 2022, it's the all over glow from within look. And when I found the Rose Inc Solar Power, I was like, okay, this is literally what they're talking about.
I got the big bottle. I'm glad that I did too. I think I did too.
I literally just used the last drop the other night, and I've got to get back and get some more because I love it. It's fantastic.
Plus the applicator, talk about great like application. The fact that the lid just pops up, it dispenses really the perfect amount. I'm a fan. I put one little pump of that into my foundation, and it's a perfect mix.
And the thing that I'm amazed about too is I've used it with 2 different shades of foundation. So like I'm like so pale right now, like I haven't even been in the sun, so I'm using the lighter one, and I was a little worried. I'm like, oh, I wonder if it's going to be a little too light. It's not, and it doesn't streak at all. When it, I literally just mix it right with my brush right on the back of my hand, and it never streaks, and it just every single time it's completely a smooth application. It is Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, the British supermodel, couldn't find products that she really liked. So she developed Rose Inc on her own with her dermatologist. And so that's why all the ingredients, a lot of like really good skin healthy stuff in there too.
Yeah, it feels clean. It doesn't feel heavy. You don't really notice it. I mean, I don't even feel anything different than my foundation when I put it on.
Yeah.
I did, like I said, I did notice, I felt like it maybe like took a tone just a little bit down out of my foundation, but that's easily fixed if you notice that you're having that problem and you want to try it with just a little bit of bronzer that I just kind of puffed on my nose. It's fine. It just comes right back. And it may just be me being a psycho.
I doubt it. You do makeup every single day. I mean, I know you're not a psycho, but I mean, I know you do makeup every day. So if anyone's going to notice, that's why I was really I know it's taken like months for you to finally have a review of it, but because I actually had got a couple comments on Instagram like, did Jen ever try the solar power?
Like, I told you I was going to. Finally. I was in there. I just like to make my cart count.
But you would be the one to notice the little imperfections or what it would change because you wear it every day. You wear makeup every day. So, but the other thing is, as we all know, sun damage and stuff, you're in your car a lot. You're in California.
Totally.
And to have something that enhances your beauty routine in terms of like making your makeup look even better, plus it's protecting your skin.
Because that's where my sun damage is. If I have any sun damage at all, it is only on the left side on the bottom of my cheek. And it's because I'm driving in my car. That's the side that is getting all the sun.
Right.
And so I've noticed discoloration. So I'm actually happy. And I've even used it with my regular moisturizer that has SPF. I'm just doubling it up. But this is great for days when I want to just throw something on and maybe go to the pool or whatever, just to have that extra protection. It's It's good.
I'm so happy that you love it. That's great.
I like it. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Okay, so moving into streaming, because we've given lots of recommendations. I've certainly been watching lots of stuff in my time in bed, in my convalescence. But the last time we talked about a streaming recommendation, you had just literally come off of real life jury duty.
Right.
And I said, oh my gosh, so there's this really fun series that's, I don't really know. I mean, it's been advertised on Amazon Prime. And so you kind of, you see the ad for it a lot. But I really didn't know.
It came out in April, I think.
Yeah. And I didn't really know too many people who had actually seen it. We watched it. We loved it. My brother started watching it. He really liked it. And then I told you, hey, you just did jury duty in California. That's what this whole thing is. So what did you think?
I thought it was hysterical. And at first, the first episode, I started to get annoyed because I was like, okay, this is not how my jury duty went. but then I'm like, okay, relax, girl. I was just traumatized. It was post-traumatic stress. But it's such a great show. The premise is that they take a guy who applies to do a documentary on jury service from Craigslist, and they put him into a totally doctored scenario. They use a real courthouse in Huntington Park, and they've got all actors surrounding him in the jury pool, security, the judge, the lawyers, just pretty much everybody around him is in on it. And I was wondering how it was going to go because like all the way through as I was watching, first of all, the guy is like probably the best guy on the planet.
Right.
He reacted so well.
I said he should be the next Bachelor, but apparently he has a girlfriend. But if he was single, he'd be perfect to be the next Bachelor.
Because he's so cute. He's tall. He like reacts to everything. He's like so sweet. Like the craziest stuff they put him into. He didn't talk smack. So I thought I was like, how are they going to end this with him? Is he going to be upset? Like,
I know.
You know what helps is at the end they give him $100,000, and I think that probably softened the blow of you feel like a dummy.
Yeah,
because you have to feel like a dummy. But it was funny. Some of the crazy stuff they put him in, and some of the weird people. That's actually close to reality.
I know, right?
Based on the type of people I was thrown into the jury pool with. I mean, these people were different, to say the least. And
then real life James Marsden, the actor
who got an Emmy nomination for it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, for jury duty.
Oh, I didn't even look at the Emmy nominations yet. Oh my gosh. I keep hearing about The Bear, and we're not finished yet with this second season, but he is wonderful. He's playing a ridiculous version of himself.
He's so good at it.
He's so good. And he's so cute. I've always loved him. I think he's adorable. And he seems like just a really good guy, who really didn't want to lead this guy down the wrong path, but, they committed to the role. They seem to be
friends, at least on Instagram, because, of course, you have to see what everybody's doing. And they seem like he keeps in touch with all of the cast and was really happy with the project. And, he seems like a legit good guy.
Yeah,
but he did have some questionable antics during jury duty.
Some of the characters that they threw at him were just, hilarious.
I know. I love the guy with the crutch pants. He was my favorite.
Oh my God. So the final episode, I don't want to give away too much because I want people to go and see it and I don't want to spoil anything. But the final episode where they really break down the fourth wall and they show him, this is how we did it in production. This is how, they sort of scripted some of it, but they really couldn't do too much because they didn't know how he was going to react.
Yeah,
so they had to kind of
exercise in improv for sure.
And I thought for me, the most the most believable of any of the actors was the guy who played the judge. If that wasn't the most perfect, he deserves an Emmy. And
he said he was a lawyer actually before, and so were the other lawyers. They were actually lawyers who became actors. But
one guy, the one guy who's the one who's the defense attorney, and he kept like dropping things. It was like right out of like My Cousin Vinny. Like it was so bad. And
it was so bad.
It was I mean, but the fact that they even did like the field trip to the factory where the incident happened, and they leaned in. They really leaned into it.
They took over a restaurant to try to create a situation. I mean, it was really well done. I would love it if they could do another season. I don't know if they'll be able to because it's gotten so much publicity, but it was really, really funny. It was a great idea for a show, as long as you're probably not the guy who gets made. Because, I mean, not that he's unhappy. He's going to movie premieres. He's like a big deal now, and he's got money. So, hey, maybe it was all's well that ends well. But yeah, you would probably feel a little bit like, oh no, I know I would be so embarrassed that I couldn't figure it out.
I know. And his face, and actually I think when the final episode, when they're kind of like showing some recaps of like, at this moment he's like, this is kind of like a reality TV. Like, I know. And then they're kind of like, oh no, we lost him, and then they had to keep trying to get him back. It was really, and then the girl who played the bailiff.
Oh my gosh, she was incredible.
She was so convincing because she didn't seem like an actor. At all. Like she was not polished, the way that James Marsden is.
She was like you would think a bailiff is. She played it.
Yeah, like kind of a monotone voice, like no real inflection in her voice, but just kind of like didn't take any BS, acted like, like a bailiff would. Like she's seen it all, She was amazing. The guy who played the judge, he was just epic. And I felt sorry for him in a sense because he's the one who had to break the news.
I know.
At the end, he was the one who had to tell him. And then
he did it really nicely, though.
Ronald is his name, right? Ronald,
yeah. And I thought
so when he starts looking around at the other jurors, it's like, and then he starts realizing he's like, wait, you're all actors? You're all in on it? It must have taken him days to figure, to kind of just to get a grip. It. Yeah,
I know. The fact that also I thought it was funny, like the inaccuracies I saw with the jury duty, where they're actually handing out lunch menus for the jury. I was like, wait a second. They're trying to buy lunch, but they're trying to set him up with these things, these dilemmas. And it was just, it's a very good show. And it's fast. I really enjoyed it because it's like half-hour episodes, like 8 of them?
I think it was like 7 or 8, something like that, right? And then the other thing that's there's another bonus episode where all of the actors and Ronald together do a rewatch.
Right.
And then they have the commentary.
And so they're like, that. I don't think I've seen that yet.
Yeah, it's a bonus episode and it's really fun because it's like James Marsden talking about he's like, different things that he had to do and how they tried to come up with different things. So they kind of walk you through the process. And it's really fun. It was creative. It's nice to see something that's totally different. Yeah. It's totally...
Was that the one where they showed how they made the poop? Or was there another
That was in the final episode. That was in the final episode.
So there's
of the series.
another one. Okay,
this one just is a recap. Like it's basically you don't see them, you just hear their audio commentary, and it runs through the first episode. So they kind of just all talk about little things.
Oh, that's fun. I'll have to look for that.
Yeah, and then the guy with the inventions and stuff.
Oh, I love him.
And and he was hilarious and he was so committed. He was a great actor. And he really
was. All are. I actually think all these guys who are not well-known actors, aside from James Marsden, will go on to do some pretty incredible things. At least the people that were in the jury, because they were amazing and they had to be fully committed to improv. They were very funny. So I think they've got big careers ahead of them just because of this.
And the one guy who is an actual well-known actor, or well-known-ish, I guess. He was on Parks and Rec, which is a show I never watched.
Oh, he was? I didn't even notice. Which one was he?
He was the guy who had dark hair and maybe like a mustache or like a kind of like facial hair.
With the crazy wife?
I don't remember now, but in the commentary, they were saying that they found out as they were filming that Ronald was a big Parks and Rec fan.
Oh no!
And they were like, so they kept this guy away from him. They would seat him the furthest away so that Ronald wouldn't like stare at him too long and kind of go, wait a minute, you look familiar. So there were little things like that they had to really plan. It was so much planning.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I wonder. Yeah.
It was a really cute
amazing
show. Yeah, it was
very cute. I like it.
And so I have one new recommendation.
Okay.
If you haven't already seen the Wham documentary,
I gotta watch it.
It is so wonderful. Like I can't, like I want to watch it again. I've been a huge George Michael fan forever, but I didn't know anything at all about Andrew Ridgeley. I knew nothing. And so it starts with their friendship in high school and what an amazing friendship they had. And when you watch it, talk about a guy who's going to emerge as like one of the nicest human beings on the planet. It's Andrew.
Yeah. Because I used to have, of course, everyone had the George Michael crush, but I used to also have a little Andrew Ridgeley crush, even though he wasn't the cute one. But there was something I always liked about him. And I used to sit behind him at the Laser games. I think it was a Kings game early on in the LA Kings. I think he was a big Kings fan. And we used to sit behind him, and I was like 9 years old or 10 years old or whatever I was. And I was like, oh my God. And I used to always want to talk to him and tell him that I loved Wham so much, but it never did. But I read an interview with him, and he was talking about the friendship and how it persevered and changed, obviously, with George's stardom, but that he just seemed very genuine and not upset that they didn't achieve the same levels of fame, which is interesting.
I'm telling you, when you watch this, I was literally moved to tears at the level of generosity that Andrew had towards George's budding success. And, and Andrew realized, not too far into Wham, wow, I used to write the songs, but George is really the songwriter. George Michael, that's the thing a lot of people don't know. George Michael was not just some pop star who had a great voice. He wrote every one of his songs.
Careless Whisper and all those were like real game changers,
Do you know that he wrote Careless Whisper, which is one of the best ballads, I think, of the 20th century? He wrote that. He wrote those lyrics. I'm never going to dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm. He was like 16 when he wrote that. Those are some mature themes and writing, and just the writing in general of, time can never mend a careless whisper from a friend. Somebody just says, oh, George was acting out and stepping out on, on his on his girlfriend at the time.
Right.
And, that's a very mature theme. And the song itself is just such a beautiful song. And I was shocked. I thought for sure he was probably in his 30s when he wrote that.
I had no idea he was that young. Huh.
It was wild. But the whole documentary, it ends with, with them having that massive concert, the farewell concert that they had at Wembley Stadium. Yeah. And if you already like Andrew, I'm telling you, you're going to have the biggest crush on him as a human being, because I don't know anyone else who could have endured that and also supported their friend the way that he did. Every other band that has a breakup, there's always a star, there's always somebody who's left behind. It just goes that way, even in One Direction. Even though all five of those guys have their own careers, there are varying degrees. Harry Styles is in another stratosphere, and then the other guys are just at different levels. Andrew, I don't even know what Andrew did after Wham broke up. I don't even know.
You never even heard about him.
Maybe he produced.
You never even heard from him.
Yeah, he just went into being literally the biggest band and duo on the planet and selling out a US tour and all that stuff, and then just sort of into obscurity. I don't know. That's not easy for most people to handle, but
not gracefully. No way.
But it's only like a 90-minute documentary. It's not like a Ken Burns situation. Although I wish it was 12 hours long, honestly. And when you watch
I'm going to have to watch it. It's on my list. I always keep a little list in my note section of my phone of things I don't want to forget about when I'm looking for something. And I think I'll really like it. I loved Wham, as every teenage girl did probably.
Of course.
Or young girl, preteen.
And and I watched it with Lewis, and when we were watching it, they get to the part where Wake Me Up Before You Go becomes this massive. And it's like the first three notes. And I looked at Lewis and I said, if anyone says that they don't like this song, they're tone deaf.
I know. They're totally lying. I know. It's just a great song. It's a happy song. It's a great song. Oh, gosh.
And they tell the story behind that. Yeah. That was literally a note that Andrew left for George, because George was sleeping in the guest room at Andrew's house.
Oh, that's so funny.
And Andrew was like tired and on his way to bed, and he wrote "Wake Me Up," and he wrote "up" twice. So he wrote, wake me up, before you go. That's why he added the second go. And that was the inspiration. And that was it's amazing.
Wow.
It's a fun documentary. You'll love
magic.
it.
All right, good. Well, I'm going to check it out. I'll have a review. Maybe I'll have it for next week. We'll see.
Just like the Rose Inc. It may take her a little while.
It takes me a while, but then I get there. She gets there.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Beauty Pop, and follow us on YouTube. We've got a nice little YouTube situation happening, and follow us on Instagram at Beauty Pop Pod. Follow Jen at Jennifer Horn Radio, and I'm on air Victoria on Instagram as well. And we'll be back next week with some more good stuff to review and talk about. Thank you guys for listening. Have a good one.